Hey. Now I know I'm not the only one who's thought about this or asked the question when the topic of a new female boss coming within your organization arises. Now the question is whether they're this or whether they're this. Now there's no negative connotation associated with it. However, society already has in place stereotypes for females in general, and more specifically, cultural backgrounds. Let's talk. This week we're going to talk about stereotypes within minority female leaders and ways to combat them. As much as we like to say there's no stereotypes within the workplace, there is. And we all know it because we're guilty of it. Or I know it because I'm guilty of it. I'm not going to speak for everybody else. However, the top three things or the top three stereotypes that I'm more so trying to, go against is 1, being the angry female, 2, being weak, and 3, being lazy. So let's talk about being angry. Let's talk about being the angry female and how to combat that. Now, there are often times where you may have some kind of disagreement with your coworkers, or you're not always seeing eye to eye, or you figure what? Your point of view is better than someone else. So you're trying to convey that without slipping into the stereotype of being the angry minority female, right? And you don't want to use the approach of being passive all the time. So what do? You ride that line. I hate to say it, that's what I do. I ride that line real heavy because a lot of times there are things I want to make. There are points I want to get across. Now, this method works for me whether I'm speaking to another minority individual or a Caucasian individual. It doesn't really matter. I normally try to approach someone less aggressive and more so in an understanding manner. However, I do want to get to the root of the issue and I do want to rectify it. So I come up to somebody and I say, hey, I understand this situation exists. You felt as though blah, 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 based on what was said. However, now that however works wonders. However, I did not particularly agree with that because of this. I felt as though, you see how I'm using myself as a shield for all the backlash? I felt as though this could have been handled blase. Period. I do that because I want it to be, I want the individual to be receptive of what I'm saying. And I don't want to come off as being, ready to pounce on somebody. That's not my intentions here. It's really to level the bubbles and come up to an understanding so we can drive forward, so we can move on. It works for me. It's hard. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of the times it's hard because what you want to do is be passionate and say whatever, because other individuals may not have as much backlash when it comes to being passionate about what they think is right. Simply put. So the angry minority females exist. That stereotype is set in stone, and oftentimes you know that because when somebody's angry, you've messed up. Guess what? You're like, oh, she's about to blow. But when she comes to you with a reasonable, in a reasonable way, you're like, okay, I can understand that, and I can go back and think about what she's saying. So all I'm trying to convey to you guys, try to utilize this moving forward as successful leading ladies and viewers. So let's talk about being weak or considered weak within a workplace. I'm going to give you an example. So as a military officer, my first unit was infantry battalion. And man, I was like, wow, can't believe I'm here. But I am, and I did not want to be seen as weak. Being a more male-predominant environment, I want to be respected just the same. So what I did was, I saw physical activity as being one of the main things that males were doing. And I wanted to be amongst that. I wanted to have the same respect. Therefore, I started working out twice a day. Twice a day, I was lifting, I was doing CrossFit events. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It wasn't so much that I hated what I was doing just to get the respect. It was just, I challenged myself. I didn't give up when normally I would say, okay, well, it doesn't really matter. I challenged myself. I pushed myself to the limit. I had pride. And pride is not always bad. I'm telling you, it worked in my favor. A lot of people were respecting me because of that fact. I didn't give up. Although I know I probably wasn't as competitive as they were, I capitalized on things I knew I could be great in. Sprints, yeah, I'm good. Let's get it. Defense, when it comes to like sports PT or so forth, yes. And I loved rucking. Be surprised, like I love rucking. So I was there. My time wouldn't have been as fast, but I was determined, I was motivated, and I was ready to go. And those things could help you combat as well against being deemed weak within a workplace. You not settling for less. You're going after it. You're getting after it. People seeing that you have heart, you have pride, and you take value in what you do. Let's talk about being lazy. Like lazy. Ooh, she lazy. Lazy female. No one likes to be called lazy. And I don't think we really intentionally put ourselves in a predicament where we're deemed lazy. A lot of the times it's the fact that you don't take initiative to go past a task that's been given to you in a workplace. Somebody gives you a task to do, to analyze this data, right? And present them with the report on what your findings are. You give some nice little vague observation memo on whatever you observed, right? Whatever you analyzed. And somebody look at you and I'm like, dang, she was real lazy. She didn't even take the time out to interview anybody, to go further in depth. The report is only one page. It's more so taking the initiative, valuing your name. Look, you are your image. Sorry. And you make that the first 90 days within an organization. What you want to do is set a tone. You want to go out and do what you need to do. Take that initiative. Go out there and create the best product you can create. Don't be lazy. Simply put, those were the things that I did to combat that. When somebody gave me a task, I wanted it synchronized. I took my time to make sure letters were all like same font, same type of same size. I made sure it was simplistic. It was easy for you to understand. You had supporting documents, so there was no question of why I thought this way. I made sure that when I thought about this, I did external research to support that. That's just taking initiative and creating a solid product. Yeah, it's too easy. It takes a lot more time, but it's too easy. But you don't want to be ladies. You want to be successful female leaders within various organizations. It's going to take that. It's going to take that extra pride. It's going to take that extra oomph. Now, we have talked about 3 hot topics. We talked about being the angry minority female. We've spoken about being considered lazy within a workplace. We've talked about being weaker than males. I'd love to hear what you got to say about this topic. Please comment below. Email me. Let's talk about it. Let's see if you've encountered those same stereotypes, ways that you combat those, or tell me some things that I don't know. That what are you experiencing within your workplace? Let's talk. I really want to hear about it. Let's talk about it. If you want to connect with me more on a one-on-one, you want to ask questions, or you just want to get to know me, do so by the things within my description box. There's my emails, there's my social contacts. I love to hear from you guys. Subscribe, right? So until next time, this has been Mac's Perspective, bringing you a fresh point of view.